All right. Good morning, Coldwell Banker George Realty. I hope everybody is having a fabulous start to their Friday morning. Today, we're going to have a class on, I believe it's agent risk management, right, Virgil?
You got it.
All right. So without further ado, I will pass it on to Virgil so he could discuss the topic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Joffrey. My name is Virgil Flores. I'm the president and owner of Legal Services of America. We're located here in Rancho Murieta, California, just by Sacramento. I hope everyone can hear me okay. We'll go for about 45 minutes. I'll leave some time at the end for questions and answers. Although don't be hesitant. If you have a question during my presentation, feel free to chime in. The purpose of our company being in business, I first should start by saying, is that we are in the business of defending and protecting the realtor against what I call the disease of litigation that is very prevalent here in California. As some of you probably know, but not to darken anyone's day, I should tell you some of the statistics behind what I say. California realtors are the second most sued industry in California, believe it or not. Yeah, they're second only to doctors. Doctors have malpractice insurance. And out of all the lawsuits that are filed in the United States against realtors, out of all the lawsuits that are filed against realtors in the United States, over 50% are filed here in California. So it's a very serious thing where many times after the close of escrow, there's going to be some unknown or undisclosed defect found in the property. And what happens after that typically is very expensive and very costly in the way of time and money to the realtor. So our company, Legal Services of America, developed some risk management systems that are effective at preventing. That's the key word now. In risk management, it's not about how you can pay for a lawsuit, but how you can prevent one. And our company has a track record now of preventing over 90% of any threat of lawsuit or demand for money against our real estate broker or agent. We stop over 90% of those problems from ever reaching your E&O insurance policy. And if we can't stop the lawsuit, our money where our mouth is, you might say, is where we will pay the E&O deductible. Okay? So now let me first just start with what kind of started this. Over 30 years ago, I met with a real estate broker. I happened to be in the insurance business. And he said to me that, Virgil, many times after the close of escrow, I'm getting pestered by all of these little problems, little undisclosed defects that are found in the property. And the problem for me as the realtor is that I'm really the favorite target, the most favorite target of these frivolous nuisance type lawsuits, because I'm the legally held responsible, and so is my broker. And also, it is generally known that realtors are very, very wealthy and have many thousands of dollars to pay, of course, because you've got this huge commission. That's just kind of the perception. So when a buyer finds that little crack in their castle, they've only got one recourse, because the seller, of course, has got the money, you might say, and is off on their trip to Hawaii with the proceeds of the transaction. But the buyer's the one that's found the crack in their castle, the problem, the leaky roof, the bad plumbing, what have you. And now they are going to want some sort of recourse. They're going to want some sort of compensation, aren't they? And of course, the first person they're going to call is the real estate agent, because you were there and responsible for all of this. Not really, but still, that's the perception. And now what do you do about that problem? Buyer's called, he's complaining, there's a hidden defect found in the property. And now at that point, then typically what happens is the real estate agent will start to act as a mediator. But the problem is a mediator and a Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It. But the problem is that every word that you utter from that moment forward is actually going to draw you closer to a lawsuit. You think that you're just trying to be a good, hardworking realtor by helping the people, but in fact, it's drawing you in closer to the day that they're going to name you in a lawsuit. Even though you did nothing wrong, the real estate agent is the deep pocket. You've heard that term, deep pocket. Well, the reason that they will sue the realtor every time is because you have $1 million worth of errors and omissions insurance standing behind you. And they know that the E&O company will pay them rather than try to defend against this $5,000 leaky roof. So what will happen is it just fostered this business of anytime you have a problem, just name the realtor because you'll get some money. So the number one thing that we found as the most effective way to prevent a lawsuit is not to lawyer up as much as some real estate companies have their own corporate attorneys, but it's actually to provide your buyer and your seller with a peacemaker, with a mediator, with someone who's trained in the fine art of dispute resolution. And that's our company, Legal Services of America. In fact, the name is a bit of a, is not actually correct in that, excuse me, we should be called Legal Mediations of America. Because what happens is as soon as the buyer or seller complains or is unhappy about any part of the transaction, because they chose Coldwell Banker George and not other realtors that they could have, they're going to get something of great value that's going to protect them for life. On the most complex transaction of their life, they're going to have what we call legal peace of mind. And that's exclusively offered through our clients. So ABC Realty down the street can't have this service and can't offer it unless their broker owner authorizes it and signs up. So let me go right to sharing some documents, if I may. And does that bring up any questions? So our company, again, I want to be clear on this, is here to provide legal peace of mind to all parties to the transaction and provide a risk management system to you and to your buyers and sellers that will prevent over 90% of any threat or threat of lawsuit from ever reaching your E&O insurance, or we will pay the E&O deductible. But we don't do that by trying to litigate. Actually, let me show you what we do first. Hope everyone can see that. We're going to go right to the bottom of all the documents I want to show you, and these will be made available to you and your broker. We call this risk management for buyers and sellers. And it has truly become the most effective way to prevent a lawsuit against a realtor. We've discovered it because what we found is that most buyers and sellers would rather work out their differences without expensive litigation. But now you at Coldwell Banker George are going to have something that you can offer your clients that's going to take you and your company above any other realtors in that area, and it's already been proven to me. Number one, when your buyer or seller chooses you, they're going to have a real estate attorney there to answer any legal questions they have before, during, and after the close of escrow. Now, many times realtors are asked to give legal advice, which we know, of course, is against the NAR Code of Ethics. You would never want to do that. Plus, it could also turn into a lawsuit against you. So the number one thing that we're going to do is provide a real estate attorney to you and to your client that's going to answer any legal questions that your buyer or seller have that could impede or delay the transaction. So here's some examples. The buyer is asking how to take title. He wants to know about buying bank-owned properties and the legalities of that. Purchase of a short sale. Questions regarding a will or trust. Escrow questions. So anytime your buyer has a legal question, you won't have to risk your real estate license by giving legal advice. You'll be able to refer them to your real estate attorney who's a part of your team that's there to not complicate the matter, but remove the legal question and help the people into escrow. Does that bring up any questions? Let me go into the chat just to make sure. So this is just one of these buyers' questions that we get every day at our office, are just a few examples of the many different legal questions we get. Also, of course, if you're representing the seller, they're going to have legal questions regarding the short sale, the bankruptcy, deed in lieu, foreclosure, title issues, 1031 exchange, disclosure questions, tenant occupied questions. We're getting a lot of those now since the end of the pandemic and all of that tenant related legal stuff. Now we're able to help sellers sell the property and advise them about the legalities of a tenant occupied property. These are not questions that are these are not questions that you as the real estate agent would ever want to answer. Of course, you want to have your real estate attorney answer them for your client. Now, also, we're going to provide a document review, which is up to, and this is incorrect, it's actually 16 pages of the entire RPA. So when your buyer or seller has a legal question, oh, by the way, I should go back. On the telephone consultation, it's 30 minutes per subject matter. So they can call on 100 different subjects, but it's 30 minutes per subject matter. How to take title, what do I do in an exchange, all separate subjects. And then also, we will provide them a 16-page document review. We'll actually have our attorney walk them through the entire RPA if they have a legal question. Now, these are transactional, non-dispute, that's the key term, non-dispute legal questions that could impede or delay the transaction from closing. But now, as a part of the Coldwell Banker George team, you've got a sustained legal system in place to help your buyers and sellers close escrow. Does that bring up any questions?
I do, Virgil.
Go.
This is just for the duration of escrow. It doesn't extend after escrow.
Good question. It's before, during, and after the close of escrow, forever, for life. So anytime they have this need for an attorney to answer a transactional legal question, we'll be there to provide it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, as long as it pertains to that transaction. So anything outside that realm would not be covered.
Actually, if they need the attorney for something outside the covered transaction, we will provide up to a 25% rate reduction off the attorney's normal hourly fees. And also that does include estate planning, which we've just recently added.
So Oscar has a question in the chat box.
Go ahead. Let me go to it. 1 second.
Actually, Jeffrey too.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Now let's talk about the fees. actually, I want to just take 1 second to tell you that before I tell you the fee, that our services are typically going to be paid for by the buyer or seller from the proceeds of the transaction. Okay. Now, anyway, and the fee I'm proposing to your company normally would be $149, but I spoke with Mr. Cam. I'm reducing the fee to $124. Now, the fee has to be put on every one of your future closed transactions. But the nice part is that you're going to use our invoice to have the buyer or seller pay the fee from the proceeds of the transaction. You don't have to pay the $124. We would prefer that the buyer or seller pay that. And then if for some reason they were to balk at that, not want to pay, we would ask you would pay the fee. But of course, that's such a small fee. It's less than what you'd pay for a house plant or a welcome mat. Now you're giving them a closing gift that's going to cover them for life. Because I know I've spoke of it, but I have to be clear on one other benefit, and it's the big one. It's not just the unlimited legal advice. It's not just the unlimited document review, but it's the mediation. That's what's now curing this problem of buyers and sellers suing the realtor. Because for life, forever, after the close of escrow, we're going to provide a mediator to resolve any disputes between the buyer, the seller, or any third party involving the transaction. And the key is this benefit satisfies the mediation clause found in your real estate contract. The RPA directs them to mediate versus litigate. And now, in fact, they have a way out of their unhappiness and they don't have to sue anyone. We know that this is an important wall, if you will, between you and that problem, because we know that if they get to an attorney, the attorney only has one function, and that is to sue everyone. That's how they get their money. For $500 an hour or on a contingency, they're going to be paid to sue everyone. But with this service in place, no one's going to want to sue anyone. Why would the buyer go out and spend their kids' college money on a lawsuit if they had a way for the seller to repair what they probably didn't disclose? But let's go on, because it's even getting better. We did not know what we were on to when it came to this homeowner's risk management. We did not know. Now we're getting calls from other states across the United States asking about this particular benefit. What it means to you at your company is you're going to have, I believe, to be one of the most compelling, powerful listening tools in the history of real estate. And I don't believe I'm overstating that. We had a call come in from a Remax broker up here in Monterey County, told me she lost a listing due to the fact that my client, a Century 21 agent, had this service. I'm just saying. So now you can take this valuable benefit and turn it into your own marketing campaign. Because this trifold brochure would have the Coldwell Banker George logo and your name, and then you can go out there and introduce this to all of your prospective buyers and sellers. Dilbeck Real Estate, as I understand it, puts this in every listing presentation. Just one example. Now, then beyond that, it tells your buyer and seller what do they get for all these great services. What do they get for this $124? And when they see that, and it's not saying to them, by the way, that you expect that there's going to be some problem in the property, or it's just simply explained to them that as a real estate agent, you are not allowed to give legal advice. And as a part of your service to your buyer or seller, you have a team of attorneys there to help them with any kind of legal questions. That's it. And the nice part is it's paid for only at the successful close of the transaction. But if there is no close, there is no fee. even if we've answered legal questions. There is no fee. Now, then, lastly, you can use this in your marketing as here's a postcard template that you could now start to paper every town in that community, telling them why they would only work with Coldwell Banker George. Go ahead, you had a question.
Yeah, so this is catered towards whether you're representing either a seller or a buyer, correct?
Yes.
Now, what happens in the event that you are the dual agent for both?
Good, very good, very good. It's important that we place the fee on both sides of that transaction. Dual agency is in the courts right now. They're continually trying to suggest that the realtor cannot be fiduciarily impartial in all of that. So there's some problems with short sales of dual agency, and we get a lot of calls on those. So please put the fee on both sides. Now then, let's see.
One last question on that same note,
Please.
Is there any conflict of interest because these services are actually representing both parties?
None, because we're going to have separate mediators working with those independent parties. We understand conflict. It's a good question, but there won't be for us.
Okay.
So now when you close a transaction, you include this invoice, and it tells us a lot about how much the fee was. Was it paid by the buyer, the seller, or the agent? It's going to tell us the street address of the covered transaction. Did you represent the buyer or seller? Here you can have the buyer or seller sign this. They cannot be made to pay it. We cannot make it mandatory. But as you probably know, you have a right legally to charge a fee above and beyond your commission as long as you're giving the client something of greater or equal value. That's what RESPA said. So this more than qualifies. $124 typically wouldn't buy an hour's time in a lawyer's office, but you're giving them a lifetime of benefits. So you can charge it, but if they balk at it, then we have to ask you to pay it. Small price to pay. Go ahead, please.
One more question. So you mentioned that this service is for life, right? For the
Yes.
Is that also the same for the agent?
Good question, and it's a perfect segue to the next part of my presentation. Let me talk about now the benefits for the brokers and agents. And to answer your question, it's for as long as you are our client. The buyer and seller will receive the unlimited lifetime benefits after the close of escrow. But for you as the real estate agent, as long as you are a member of our service, we're asking you to commit to a initially one year agreement, and then we'll ask that you please pay the $124 on each future closed transaction or have your client pay it. And then after that, you can decide. But as long as you are with us, you will continue to receive these benefits. And I will tell you, this is something that you never want to be without. The next part of what I'm going to talk to you about is truly the heart of why we started our company, and it is the best possible peace of mind I could ever offer any realtor. And I want to tell you that it's far better than having your own real estate attorney, because that's expensive. And that is not actually effective at preventing lawsuits. But what it means is this: under the benefits for you as the broker and agent, you also will receive telephone consultation, 30 minutes per matter pertaining to any real estate transaction. You will also receive review of all relevant transactional documents. Again, that's 16 pages per covered legal matter. If ever you are threatened with a lawsuit or ever receive a demand for money, we will send out our written threat of suit letters. Now, these are very effective at explaining to this adverse party that you are not going to be a favorable target in this lawsuit. In fact, if we find out that it's a frivolous lawsuit, we'll be countersuing for our legal fees. Many times what that does is it takes these unreasonable types or these unscrupulous attorneys and brings them back to the table of reason. where they want to work things out. You will have standing behind you literally thousands of other real estate agents and over 200 attorneys there to back you. That's what you get when you have a group legal service plan. Now, if it goes to small claims court, which we know is just a favorite way for people to bother the realtor, we're going to be there to advise you. If you were ever, if someone was ever to try and keep your commission from you, we will pay to collect it. We, of course, provide you the risk management program for your buyers and sellers. If you're going to have to go to mediation, which remember that it's only 10% of the time that our clients are ever faced with this. But if you were, we'll pay 5 hours of an attorney's time to represent you. This, of course, is not the BRE anymore. It's the DRE. I have to change that. If you're called before the Department of Real Estate, that can be very costly and very time consuming. Excuse me. Many people now are using the DRE as a way to, for lack of a better, attack the realtor legally. And if you are called before the DRE, we will be there to represent you. The DRE is now taking these online unsolicited complaints and turning them into a hearing for the realtor, our own Department of Real Estate. So we're going to be there to make sure that we represent you and protect you. Board of Realtor hearings, mediations, arbitrations, all covered. If you need the attorney for anything outside the covered benefits, they'll reduce their fee by 25%. Some companies will even qualify for past acts coverage, which means that every one of your past transactions there at your company, as long as you've been there at Coldwell Banker George, would automatically be covered. Normally, we charge $300 per agent for that, because that means that every past deal, if you've done hundreds of transactions and a lawsuit was to come from one of those, you would be covered. And in fact, I'm going to make a special announcement now at this point and just tell you that if your company was to agree to sign up and enroll with our company, I'm going to agree to cover all of your past acts, going back to the first day you started at the company at no additional charge. And then you know that also in the worst case scenario, if it goes to E&O, we're going to agree to pay the $2,500 E&O deductible. Now, all these services are yours, all for just $124 per transaction, paid for paid for by the buyer or seller. I know I've said that, or paid for by yourself at the close of the transaction. If there's no close, there's no fee. Now, I just wanted to also tell you that after the close of escrow, our company will be sending documents to your buyer and seller, explaining to them about all these great benefits they get. And then also we will be notifying them. We will call them every month for 3 months after the close of escrow, just to make sure that they've received their risk management benefits.
I have a question, Attorney Flores.
Go right ahead.
Jeffrey. So you're saying that if our company, Coldwell Banker, will make the arrangement with you, you're going to give us a good agent discount for annual membership? Is that the one?
Okay, good. I think I understand your question. What I'm saying is that normally we charge $300 per agent, and that is a membership fee, but it also provides the full past acts coverage. And what I'm offering is to waive that fee. And so the only fee involved would be if when the agent closes a transaction, going forward, that they place the 124. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah,
Can I ask a question?
that's a good deal. That's a good deal.
Thank you.
may I ask a question?
Please.
If I missed it, I apologize, but does this cover commercial transactions as well?
Good. It does cover
Oh,
commercial.
great. Now,
As
what
well as-
about leases and you know, because some of the commercial leases are quite large.
Yes.
It does?
Definitely covers leases, property management. That's a
Okay.
separate deal. When you talk about property management,
Yeah.
I have to factor in how many doors you want us to cover and that sort of thing. But it's a very, we're getting a lot of calls from property managers. But anyway, on leases, it's covered, commercial.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Patricia. What happens when you're representing a couple who at first, when you took the listing, everything was going fine, and then suddenly they're getting divorced, and then they're into a battle, and then now one of the in my case, the husband is attacking me constantly. He wants me to make a mistake so I can give up the listing or something. So he's acting as a malicious intent for me to make a mistake and then have a reason to get rid of me. He doesn't seem to understand that we have a contract. He signed the contract. He called me because he wanted to sell the property, and at that time the wife didn't want to. So he kept attacking me. Every time they get into an argument, I pay the consequences. He started fighting with me. I have nothing to do with this divorce. He said that he's going to subpoena me on the divorce date, which is in August. I don't know what am I supposed to go and do over there. I have nothing to do with their marriage. So in this case,
why should you be a marriage counselor? You got into real estate to be a realtor. You know, these are common problems that we deal with every day, and we'll be there to help to resolve this dispute even before the close of escrow. And if this person continues to threaten you after the close of escrow, then he'll be facing another side of our services, which is our legal defense of you and your good name. So please allow us to work for you.
Yes, I want your information.
Thank you.
Virgil, this is Peter Cam. How are you? Thank you for coming to talk to us today. I was wondering, now you said that the fee is $124 per transaction.
Correct.
But what if of the some of the agents that want to opt out of the program?
Good.
In other words, you know, they don't need that kind of services, but so their transaction will be out of what we cover, or we don't have to pay for the transaction fees.
Very good, sir. After the presentation, you could present me a list of the agents that want to participate, and then we will, as long as I can cover my risk as far as the amount of transactions, we're good. We can go forward. And then we would just take out those agents that don't want to participate.
Yeah, but they don't know ahead of time whether they want to participate or not. You know, it's depends on case by case.
Then
Whether they think that they have you know, risky the transaction, or they want some advice on that transaction that they don't know until that happens.
We have had this many times in the past where we start with a core group of agents, and then as the agents start to see the value of the service, then they will start to join up. Sure, we can offer that.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
but initially we have to have a certain amount of agents that want to participate, because we base our business and risk on the amount of transactions they will close in 1 year.
Okay, what is the minimum number of agents? 50.
Minimum number of members.
50 transactions, not agents.
50 transactions. Okay, 50 transactions. I see. I see what
not a big deal. We have sometimes I work with a Remax up here in Sacramento. The big boss said, no, we cannot get all the agents on board. We still got 5 or 6 agents. They produce maybe 100 transactions a year. We got a group.
I see. So, but in the beginning, we don't have to give you all the names of the agents that opt to get in the program, right?
Yes.
As long as we can guarantee to you that we have at least 50 transactions.
Actually, the way it would work is that we must have the name of the agent that wants to enroll with our service, because we will protect them and, of course, protect you as the broker vicariously. And then once we know the name of the agent, they will tell us, well, I probably will do 5 transactions, and I have an enrollment form. It's very easy. And then once we get a number of enrollment forms, I can look at that and say, yes, I see where we can provide our service.
Okay.
And I'm happy to come back at future meetings. Sometimes we're not able to get as many as we need initially. Now, sometimes the broker owner will make it something where they will make it a part of their company policy. That's yours to decide, of course, not for me to decide. But if you wanted to make it a part of your company policy and put it on every transaction, that would be a great benefit to you as the broker owner, because I will then protect, even if an agent leaves the company or was to have left in the past, I will still provide the risk management to protect you and the agent, protect your company.
I see. Would you cover some of the deductible of the E&O insurance?
Yes.
Right now, we have like $20,000 deductible for the E&O. So what is
you definitely need my risk management. I don't know why you would have such a high deductible, but it's not unusual that many brokers have said that they would rather have the high deductible and the lower premium. Maybe they've had a few lawsuits. I don't know. But anyway, what we will do for you, I think the better program for you, Mr. Cam, is the 149 program, not 124.
Okay.
Because
so what does the 149 program entails?
That will cover up to 5,000 of the first 5,000 of the E&O deductible.
I see.
Yeah, it's a good program, and it's such a small difference. 124 covers a 2,500, but we'll cover the first 5,000. And keep in mind, sir, that we are going to fight very hard to make sure we don't have to pay that. Our attorneys are going to be vigorously defending you to try and stop the problem before it ever goes there.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let me go on to talk to you about, let's see, well, it's 10:38. We should probably see if there's more questions.
Any questions? Virgil, if a lot of times transactions fall out of, they don't actually transpire and close, but there's still litigation that comes out of it. Is that something you guys cover with that as well?
That's the beautiful part about our system, is that once a part of our, once the agent enrolls, there is no amount of legal matters we will not cover, meaning that everything that comes across their desk will be protected under our plan, unless it's a pre-existing matter. And the way that we determine that is if it was something that was already memorialized in writing. Okay, even if it was a verbal threat, we would still cover it under the past acts. But if it was something that was, pre-existing, that's the only time we don't cover it.
Even though the fee was never.
Even though pardon me, I got away from your question. Thank you. Even though we'll have never received a fee, as long as the agent, of course, is agreeing to place the fee on each one of their future closed transactions, we will cover it. We cover legal problems even though we've never been paid.
The commitments for 1 year, you said?
1 year. And I'll send over enrollment forms, and I'm happy to offer more presentations as well.
Virgil, this is Oscar. I have a question.
Okay.
Hello?
Go ahead. I'm here, Oscar.
Yes. What happens, because you were saying that's half an hour per subject. What happens if you need more than half an hour? Is it like half an hour a day? Per day?
What we do there, Oscar, I'm glad you asked. And many people will say, why is it limited to a half an hour? Because that's basically all the amount of time that our attorneys will need. And the reason is before we send your buyer or seller over to the attorney for the legal answer, we're going to know what area of law it is, and also then we're going to send them to the attorney that's the specialist. Maybe it's probate, whatever. So anyway, then we feel that a half an hour will be more than enough to answer their legal question. But if it goes outside of that and they need more services, they will get a 25% rate reduction.
Oh, so it's 25% after the half an hour. And what are the fees of your lawyers?
Good. Maybe around $350 an hour, less the 25%.
And when they pay 124, either the buyer or the seller, that's a one-time fee?
One time, that's it. One-time fee that protects you and them. I mean, I hope I was clear on that. And I believe actually we should probably repropose a fee of not 124, but 149. It'll be a better service to you, Oscar. For $25 more, we'll cover the entire $5,000 deductible with the amount of participation that we need, of course. But anyway, I hope I answered your question.
So Virgil, theoretically, if an agent has 20 potential transactions but never get materialized, he will be paying you nothing for the whole year. And yet you cover all the legal expenses or legal questions that they ask.
That's right. That's how it could be.
Okay.
It does not seem feasible, but in fact, it's only through the power of a group policy. When you have tens of thousands of agents all paying in, now we can afford to lower the bar when it comes to the access to legal services. Now everyone can have this same, can have an attorney, but doesn't have to pay $500 an hour.
I see. Okay. That makes sense.
All right, my friends, I appreciate all your time today, and I'd be happy to come back and
Tony Flores, Jeffrey, one last question.
Go. No hurry. By the way,
for our brokerage, since I think you are limiting the number of transactions. So are you limiting the number of membership for our brokerage?
Limiting
the number of agents to be enrolled in if our brokerage will get the deal with you.
Good question.
How many agents?
What I'm proposing is this. I would like for everyone at your company to sign up with my company. Of course, I know that maybe there will be some agents that will not want to enroll. That's okay. What I'm saying is that for $149 per transaction, you can have all the benefits of our service, including the payment of the $5,000, deductible. And I will not ask that 100% of your office participate. Now, going forward, we do have to have a certain amount of participation, and that will have to be determined as to how much service I can provide. I hope that's clear.
Thank you. It's clear.
Thank you. Let's see if we have anything in the chat. Okay, and again, I want you to know that I'm waiving the membership fee of $300 as a special incentive for all of you to join up. And let's just take it through to, say, July 1st. If whoever joins before July 1st, and I'll send over the enrollment forms, I will agree to cover their past transactions at no additional fee. So I want to thank you all for your time today, and it's been a great pleasure meeting with you.
Thank you, Virgil.
Thank you, Virgil.
No further questions?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Virgil. Have a nice weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, if anybody does have any further questions regarding his services, you can just contact either myself or Peter. Okay. All right. Let's move on. It's 10:45. Let's hear from our affiliates and see what's going on and the current trend in real estate. Marie, you're at the top of the grid. You're on mute. Unmute yourself, Marie. She's trying. We'll come back to you. All right. You figure that out and we'll come back to you. Let's go to Nicole. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday, Nicole Menard, Fidelity National Title. It is the beginning of June, and so what does that mean? Well, our Fidelity agent has rolled out the monthly marketing piece that you can use, especially if you're speaking with clients. There's an infographic that will help you have conversations with the sellers and trying to get them to list their property. So if you'd like details, if you're not utilizing our Fidelity agent app, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to get you set up. And we're always here for you. You guys have a fantastic Friday and weekend. And thank you for the opportunity to join you. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, Nicole, I have a quick question.
Yes.
That email that you send out for the stats on the neighborhood, that's based off whatever agent, the area that the agent requests, correct?
Correct. So we can provide it for specific zip codes. It's available for all Southern California counties.
Perfect.
Okay.
Whenever I'm ready.
Oh, Marie. Oh, I didn't know who was talking. Go for it, Marie.
That was a technical error. Sorry.
It's okay.
At Coldwell Banker. Just want to say, real estate is starting to move along. I think we're starting to see a lot of sales out there, team. And with those estates, as Angie and all of our title people on, we've kind of come back to you time and time again for our title sales is we have to have our you have listing appointments. Please make sure you're getting your profile so that you can tell if the property's in a trust so that we can get all the documented trust documents we need, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong in that process of the trust. So we need to make sure that the individual who's signing your contract is actually the person to Albatross Road. Documents to sell that property. With like VA loans and all of those things, we're starting to see more of that on title. So we have to make sure we have all of the paperwork. So the minute you are listing appointments and you see those profiles, talk to your escrow company, talk to your title people, because it's something that can cause major delays in your transaction if you don't have the documentation you need properly. So we're here to help you grow your business. If you have listing appointments and you need a net sheet, please feel free to call me. If you need farming material, I do have that as well. I'm going to give Alma a shout out. We're doing a 10-day close, which we're going to make on time on Monday. Yahoo for Alma for her sale. And you guys have a great weekend. Thank you.
All right. 10-day close. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Judy Chow, how are you? How are the rates looking? They're dropping a little bit, right?
About the same, up and down. 30-year fixed today, the best rate 6%. 15-year is 5.5%. I want to tell you, I just helped close the transaction. Not your office, but the agent called. The buyers ready to cancel because it was a non-warrantable condo. Chase declined it. Perfect borrower. Citibank declined it. So we're just able to do it with a bridge loan and close, and everybody's very happy. Okay, and it's pretty good rate. And also we're rolling out. So if you have someone you want to save the deal, we can get you close in 10 days, 15 days to help to save the deal. Another thing is that we have June 15 rollout LA County, first-time home buyer, $85,000 down payment, no interest, no payment for 5 years. If you keep it for 5 years, you don't have to pay back at all after you sell. If you sell within 5 years, you pay them the gain, 20% of the gain. So it's rolling out on June 15th. Progress been out, but the new income guidelines going into effect on June 15th. Okay, so if anybody have first-time buyer, contact me. And I wanted to tell you, I do a lot of pre-approval. You know that in the market right now. I write tons of letters over and over and over again. And finally, someone gets a property after they tried maybe 4 or 5 offers. There was 2 of them this week. One in Alhambra townhouse. You might know some of them know this one. She got over 20 offers. Okay, so it's way above. Asking is around 750. I think they hit 800. Another one in San Marino. You may know that one. February, it came on the market on Monday for 1.75. Got 20 offers already on Tuesday. And I'm sure it's hitting 2 million. It's a small house. So they're just have to get more listings. Okay, if all of you go get more listings, you're gonna sell. So I think you should door knock or whatever. I really think so. There's short of listing, lots of buyers. And last not least, you probably want to know about interest rate. So Okay, I don't know the crystal ball, but next week, the CPI, PPI, and retail sale figure coming out. Also very important, there's a 2-day federal meeting. Starts Tuesday, ends on Wednesday at 2:30 next Wednesday. Powell will make an announcement whether they'll raise the rate 0.25%. The talk is that he won't, but Canada just raised it quarter yesterday. So it was like crazy how Canada did that. So we're watching the rate. Hopefully it comes down. We think it should probably stay the same. Hopefully stay closer in the 5 rather than going up the 6. Okay, I talk really fast. I don't know. Any question about all this stuff? No, I just sent you on that new program, 85,000. I just sent it to you.
Okay, I'll send it out to everybody. No, I think you covered it all, but I'm hoping that they put a pause on that rate hike. So we'll find out next week.
You can watch the 14th.
We definitely need it. But I totally agree with you on the sellers market. The sellers are still getting over asking stuff. So
yeah, so agent, if you're an agent, I just encourage you to get more listings. Really, right. You're still getting multiple offers. Also, you guys know about that property in Hamburg selling for $245 under the bridge? You heard about that?
No.
Okay, someone from your office actually called me 2 weeks ago, want me to pre-approve a buyer for that property. So appraiser looked at it. It's under the bridge on Valley. It's on NBC News yesterday. It's on Facebook. It's selling for $245,000. It's built no foundations under the bridge.
Wow.
And asking for $245, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. I don't think they can get insurance. The appraiser can't. I had an appraiser check that out. He said he can't do this. If he can't do it, probably lender will not fund. So it'd be a cash deal. It's on the news. And it was like, it's funny. Somebody in your office, I think some agent actually from your office told me to pre-approve a client. But I told her, that's not the one you want to sell.
Got it.
You can't get it. But anyway, just let you know.
Thank you, Judy. All right, let's go to Sage. Good morning, Sage. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. I'm not sure if Brandon and John have spoken yet, so I don't want to repeat if they already spoke. So I'll just say, please take care of yourself right now. It's still flu and cold season. I'm really sick right now, so just take care of yourself. And also, if you guys need anything at all in regards to natural hazard disclosure, I'm always happy to help. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Sage. Hope you feel better. Get well. Sandy, Franco, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday. So nobody loves June gloom better than a home warranty rep because there's no air conditioning claims. So I'm going to say enjoy this weather for as long as you can because it's going to get hot and it's going to get hot soon. This is a great time to be out in your territory, farming the area. I have door hangers. I have the clear bags. It's all free. I can drop them off at the office. If that's not convenient for you, I'll ship them to your house. I'll make it as easy as I can for you guys to be as successful as possible. And, if you're sitting an open house for someone else, even if it's not your listing, get the open house door hangers that we have and just blanket the area around the house. That's where the next listing is going to come from, is the neighbors who want to get what their neighbor's getting for their house, right? We've all seen that. I mean, I'm watching my neighbors listing their house and we're going crazy over here. But it's not, that's a great idea. And it's the materials are free. We'll do whatever we can to help you. You've got a great group of affiliates here, and we all just want you guys to be successful. I'll drop my info into chat. We have new product launching in mid-July, and in a couple of weeks, we're just going to talk about that at the end of the training, so I won't get too much into that now. But new product is coming with some new plans and termite. So I'll drop my info into chat. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Frankie. Sandy, sorry. Let's go to Angie. Good morning.
Hi, it's Frangie.
Frangie. Frangie.
And Sandy Franco and Angie Tang. Mix the two and get Frangie.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. Hi, guys. Angie Tang, First American Title. Judy was talking about that property on top of the bridge. That's actually going to be insured by First American Title. So we do handle the craziest of files. This being one of them, because we had to do an inspection on this, and more than likely we'll have to do a survey for them to get the extended policy. But it is an odd, as KTLA News called it, a troll house. It is an odd type of property that we're going to be insuring. So like last week I had told you we had insured the largest transaction. Now this is probably going to be one of the most inexpensive transactions, but more tedious of a transaction because it's the way it's built on top of a city bridge. But that is going to be insured by us. So as a recap, we insured Beyonce's and Jay-Z's property for 225 million. And now we're working on this one, which is going to be probably in all cash for about 300, if not more. So they're working on that. It's not quite in escrow yet, but the prelim's been out and we've been reviewing it. So it's just going to be really interesting how that is all going to go through. But we're here to help you this.
And
yeah.
Can I ask you about that property? I had appraiser check. They won't do it. Then of course, no loan. But can they get home insurance, not title insurance? Or you don't know?
I don't know about home insurance. That would be State Farm or one. Well, actually, State Farm's not even doing that anymore.
But you don't care. You know, it's okay for you guys to
for
insure
us, yeah.
without it. Okay.
Yeah, we're just insuring the title on that property, the title insurance for it. But yeah, that's going to be a really interesting property. There's been so much hype on that thing. It's crazy. But it's really interesting. That's going to be a really fun one to insure. So yeah. And also what Sandy Franco was saying about the door hangers and all that good stuff, don't forget that we can also get you the lead gen items so that you can door knock and have the correct people that you're going to be door knocking to. So these are the things that we can help you grow your business with. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ruben. Thanks, Peter.
Hey, you know what? First American will put a home warranty on that thing. I watched it too. We'll put a home warranty on that. I'm just saying.
Wow. Hey,
you sell it and I'll put a home warranty on it. That's all I'm saying.
You also have the Ignite. Is that ready to go?
Yeah, it's up and running. There are a few tiny glitches, but not many. It's ready to go. I mean, I think last week it was trying to put some thought, but that's been resolved. So it's ready to go.
Awesome. That's a great tool. Thank you, Angie. All right. Well,
you're welcome.
Keep it in the family. Brandon, good morning.
All right, last but not least, the third eagle. I hope you guys are having a good day in some June gloom, so I'll give you a smiley for that. If you guys are stressed out, I have these smiley stress balls. So if you're feeling down, just stress out and squeeze this guy. It'll make you feel right at home better. I know that we've talked a lot in the last couple of times that I've done classes in the office about content and information to help you guys farm, just like Sandy and Angie said. I think it's a Friday. Clearly, it's a Friday. But we're here to help you grow business. I always say we don't do business unless you do business. And so what we are here to do is to help you grow your business. And without you, we can't do business. So we have all the incentive to help you. And so call me, you can text me, you can email me anytime that you need content. Say, hey, Brandon, I need some help with some content. Can you send me some stuff that'll help me to be able to prospect? I'm always here. I have tons of content to give you. If you need either PDFs to send to your clients, if you need physical copies, I can give you those. I know you guys have seen our buyer's guides, and I know Angie has some buyer's guides as well on the title side. But again, this is all information to help your clients to be more knowledgeable and to make you look like a rock star. So that's why we're here. That's why I'm here, is to make you look good, to make you look good for your clients, and to help you get more business. So I'll put my info in the chat. You guys know I'm always here. Again, reach out to me if you need those stress balls. I'm here for you.
All right. Thank you, Brandon. I can sure use one. John, good morning, John.
Good morning. I guess I'm the last of the NHD people to come on today's call. That's okay. John Wax with Snap NHD Natural Hazard Disclosure Reports. I've been blessed to be a part, and I'm still blessed to be a part of your office for over 29 years, being involved with you, helping you, explaining to you, and teaching you. The next training will be on the 21st. I believe, Ruben, it's a Zoom only. We're going to be doing a Zoom only. It's going to be commercial NHD with Ami Azimi doing environmental phase 1, talking about the differences and how we can help you and explain to your clients on what they need to do in order to protect themselves and the clients. You can order your Snap NHD reports. When you go on a listing appointment, you only pay if it closes escrow. If you don't get it, let me know. I will cancel it. We are the only ones with the free renter's report. It's required by law to get the flood zone only renter's report. Landlords must let tenants know if the property is affected by flood zones. And lastly, property tax estimator right on our website. It'll let you know what the supplemental tax is. If you're driving around with their clients and you're trying to find out a property for them to buy, because it's very, very difficult. I'm hearing multiple offers. And once a property hits the market, boom, even before it hits the market, if it's in-house, there are multiple offers going in before it even hits the market. So you want to be as competitive as you can be. I'm here for you, and I want to make you successful and help you in your success. So reach out to me to answer any questions. As a part of your team, I make you stronger because you're the real estate professional. I'm the NHC tax and environmental specialist for over 29 years. I wish you a safe, fun, and a cool weekend. We're going to get some precipitation on Sunday. Great time to door knock. People will open the door and say, "Oh, I'm so glad you're conscientious. I want to work with you." My information is in the chat. Ruben and Peter, have a wonderful weekend as well. And I thank you so much.
I think everybody's having those blurps today, huh?
No, mine was intentional.
You could just call me training as it shows on my Zoom. What was that, Ruben? All right, Peter.
Called you Fruben.
Thank you for setting my names too, Ruben.
I couldn't leave you out, Peter. I had to include you. Do we have any questions for any of our affiliates, myself or Peter? You have a bunch of tools, a lot of affiliates here that are supporting you and your business. Take advantage of it every day, every week. You know.
Can I make a suggestion? It's Marie.
Marie.
So I have an agent who has for years done this very nice thing for the 4th of July that I would love to tell you guys about. She goes to Amazon and she'll order, a couple hundred little bitty flags. And then she staples her business card to them. And when she door knocks, she puts them at the edge of the property. So by the time she finishes door knocking that block or 2 blocks, she has flags all the way down that neighborhood block on both sides. And the neighbors absolutely love it. And she gets a lot of her listings from doing things like that once a year. So it may be something you guys want to consider. I think it's a really unique idea.
That's a great idea, Marie. Yeah, I totally. They do that. They do that in my neighborhood as well. But any prospecting is good prospecting, right?
Absolutely.
Marie, I have a question. This is Oscar. How are you today?
Sure. Hey, good there.
Does she leave her business card on the flag?
Yeah, she just staples it to the flag.
Okay, thank you.
And believe it or not, most people leave them there because they like the way it makes the neighborhood look.
Yeah, especially with your picture on the car.
Mm-hmm.
and it's the American flag. Who's gonna not like that?
Right. No one's gonna destroy it, or unless there's always the majority will not do that.
Or throw it away for sure. They won't throw it away.
No, they won't throw it away for sure.
Correct.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, you want something that they're going to retain and not just throw away, and that's a perfect item and stuff. So
right after the 4th of July, they'll pick it up and they'll bring it into the house, because I think it was Sandy that once said the biggest trick is to get your item into the door. So no one's going to take it from the yard and throw it in the trash. They're going to bring it in the house. So you're in the house at that point, so they're more subject to call you.
Right. You could do that on Memorial Day too, on Labor Day.
Yeah, there you go. So, and the check, they're really cheap on Amazon.
Because what prospecting is really a 2-part, because you also have to be consistent. You can't just do it one time, right? So
yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's a really good idea.
Marie, you know how much those cost? They're pretty inexpensive, right? They're small little flags.
You can probably get 100 of them for $15.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap.
Well,
and I wouldn't do anything too large, because you don't want to do anything that, someone would get upset with. But just the little ones that maybe, 2-3 inches with your business card attached to it, just to beautify the neighborhood. I think people would be okay. You just don't want anything too large that would be a nuisance.
Right.
Yeah, just big enough to hold your car at least.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Great idea. All these are great ideas.
Quick
Yeah.
Google search, you can get, I don't know, 30 of them for $16. You can get, I mean, 100 of them for $30.
Okay.
These are all great ideas, but it's only an idea unless you act on it. So remember that. Any other questions? Any other input from our affiliates as to what you hear, what's going on out there, what's working for agents outside our brokerage? Any insight you guys can give our agents, or it's appreciated.
Home buyer fairs are still hot. People are loving those, especially now that people out of school, you know, schools are ending. People need to know what's going on, and a lot of them are making changes. So it's a good time to do that, or go and sit in a bank that allows you to greet people as they come in, not bother them, but give them information and being available to give them information and handouts.
Yep. So many sellers out there, I bet, aren't aware that it's still a seller's market and how much they can get for their property. So that's another avenue that you can start targeting, you know. But just doing it, that's the main thing, holding yourself accountable and getting up and fulfilling your agenda for the day, having an agenda for the day for the first. All right. Well, if there's no other further questions, you know where my office is at. You have all the affiliates' contact information. Utilize them to the fullest. They have a bunch of tools and knowledge. Help them help you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a happy
All right.
Have a nice weekend,
Nice
and we'll see
weekend.
you on Monday.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, everyone. Feel better, Sage.
Yeah, Sage, take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, great class.
Bye.
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 Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Yeah, great
Yep,
legal.
enjoy.
Great legal training. Good service.
Yes.